Great. Everybody?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this webinar on Blended Postgraduate Program in Management offered by IIMA. I am Joshi Jacob, faculty at IIM Ahmedabad, teaching finance for a long time. I also chair this program since its launch last year. As you know, that this is the second batch for which we are now continuing admissions, and we are very close to closing applications at this point. So let me, take you through the overall structure of the program and what makes it unique compared to other programs which are, of similar character, and then end with, a little bit about how our admissions timetable looks like, and we will handle your questions and concerns or any clarifications that you would require. Along with me is Mr. Harish Chopra, who's the Vice President for this program.
Good evening.
Yeah, thank you. So let's take a step forward. It took a lot of convincing for IIMA to launch this program because despite being, the #1 institute and the programs that we run with all students resident on campus, we felt that there is a pressing need to launch a program like this, primarily driven by the fact that increasingly digital mode of education is as effective, and everyone around, students, the community, the employers have started to accept that being a very valued mode of creating learning, which is long lasting and effective. So that convincing took a lot of time for us to, have, and COVID actually gave us an opportunity to really, do an experiment where we actually ran our main programs, where we are ranked, globally and top league to get convinced around it, because we found that, okay, running PGP or PGPX through the what we call the digital mode gave us a lot of confidence. And that took us to, this challenging initiative to launch professionals who want to really upskill their career. Okay, and as you would know, without really much of introduction, that IIMA is actually really known for the industry influence it has through its illustrious alumni, faculty who are engaged in practice and policy advice and so on. So therefore, IIMA provides a great opportunity for our graduates to really network into, an exclusive set of illustrious people, and then, build on with that in their career. I'm sure that the network nodes that are open through IIMA programs will actually allow you to accelerate your career, right? Okay, so from there, when we move on to the program, there is a lot of latitude, in terms of the number of kind of programs that are offered under the Triad called MBA. As you know, that we already have a program for a long time for PGP called PGP, which is largely meant for candidates who are relatively fresh from college, who may have a year or so of work experience. We call this as this is positioned as a career startup program. One want to initiate into the corporate career, this program provides the opportunity for that. The program that we launched later, almost four decades into existence of the PGP program, is actually called PGPX. It is a program which is exclusively meant for working executives who, for one reason or the other, personal, professional, or maybe driven by their ambition, would want to shift from the current career, or you're not really liking what you're doing, or you think you are cut out to do something else. Therefore, we call PGPX as a career shifter program, which, as you would know, is a fully residential 1-year program. And then comes BPGP, where we are saying, okay, you don't really have to necessarily leave your work if you're loving it. You think that this industry is where your potential is, and you want to really, build on that for further in future. So therefore, BPGP we have positioned as a career accelerator. So that completes the triad of programs that IIMA wanted to do. There's a career initiator, there is a career shifter, and then there's a career accelerator program, right? What are so unique about this program? Much as our other programs are known for very participant-centered, applied-focused, and really contextually driven learning approach called what we call as quote-unquote case pedagogy, we retain the full effectiveness and the kind of crucial role that it plays. The same thing is the same approach is being retained in BPGP as well. So unlike programs where you have been taught through lectured through the concepts, and then you have been actually exposed to some illustrative problems which are actually applying the concept, our approach here is to really embed the concept as a background and the application or the challenge in decision making that you are facing as the forefront. So if you are actually dealing with a certain problem in your business, okay, here how to raise money, we just put that at the forefront. What is the cost of raising that money? How does it really get influenced by varied characteristics of your firm, of the market, and those concepts, which are the wrappers, which are building blocks of finance, that comes as the background, right? So the moment the application is brought to forefront and in a context that you can relate to, we believe that the learning is a lot more applied. Not only that it is more applied, that is actually far more enduring. It doesn't really decay that fast. It will remain long with the individual. And the significance of this approach for working professionals is that it will really allow them to continue to reflect through challenges which they are facing on a day-to-day basis. So therefore, the ability to really quickly build on from the classroom back to work is very high. So we think that this is the uniqueness of the program as we do for others. The same is being very strongly retained. Of course, some of you may be concerned, is it as effective through the digital mode as you have in a classroom where participants are actually sitting down in a classroom interacting with each other, face-to-face, expressions, you can read emotions, you can see the passion. Our experience is that through these digital classrooms, the extent to which case pedagogy has been effective for other programs, we don't really see any significant difference. So in our view, it is pretty much the same across the program. So IIMA leverages on that case pedagogy. And what works for IIMA is that we have a lot of faculty engaged with practice, policy making, and who continue to really build up their own case studies on various contexts. So we keep adding to the repository of cases in a lot of contexts that you would actually be exposed to through this program are actually related to the industry that for one reason or the other you may be part of, right? Okay, so as I mentioned, the case pedagogy becomes the unique part, and it covers, a lot of the industry segments, including manufacturing, services, technology, public sector, infrastructure, utility, non-profits. So by the end of the program, through the core courses and the electives, you will have actually a fair exposure to the structure of the industry, the kind of competition, what drives it, all in the context of functional fields that are presented to you, finance, marketing, HR, right? Okay. As I said, IIMA is a school with significant amount of practice interface for most of its faculty. Therefore, we are actually able to build up electives which are quite contemporary, and the elective list, is pretty large. And if one were to think about it from any perspective, let's say, be it from a functional perspective, for finance, marketing, HR, and so on, that, of course, there are a set of electives if you want to really get a deep down in any of the functional fields. More than the functional fields, which are very conventional way of, looking at industries, we have also electives which could be just focused on industries. For example, someone want to focus on fintech, someone want to focus on healthcare, professional services, you can really select a set of courses which will give you a deeper understanding of that field. We have a set of courses which are focused on decision tools, which are embedded in data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and things of that kind. So you look at it from skill level, you look at it from functional perspective, or you want to really have an understanding of the industry. There are electives that actually cater to your varying career needs and the need for upskilling your decision-making tools. We also have a number of workshop mode courses, which actually expose you to contemporary industry practices, mostly offered by alumni and industry practitioners throughout. Okay, so let me now just sort of very quickly move on to what we call as, are there some application focus in the program itself beyond cases? We have a set of projects, and the projects are actually meant to help you apply what you learn beyond the cases, because cases are actually sort of frozen in the past. One way or the other, certain elements of that may not necessarily be relevant for today. But projects are where you are actually going to be engaged on a problem, which is really concurrent, and where you will actually try to apply certain concept or a bunch of concepts, or something that spans across disciplines of management to really solve one or the other real life challenges faced by a firm. These opportunities come in the form of two different formats. One is what we call as a live project, which is at the end of the first year, and where we are expecting the participants to really work with a problem which is live for the firm in which you are representing, or a problem that you're actually being sort of very much seized with. That's one. The second is, as part of the elective offerings that we have in the second year, you can really choose a project course, which will be supervised by a faculty, where you're actually going deep down in a particular industry, selecting a problem. It could be even exploring the opportunity for setting up a business, or could be solving some of the challenging problems in that industry, and things of that kind, right? So the faculty will help you guide through the problem. So we have the cases, which is applied by nature, where you learn the concepts and theory using the cases, and then we have sort of force multiply that with the projects that you're going to do as part of the courses in the second year. Okay, here is a quick update on the program. This is what the program calendar looks like and the schedule. As you would know that BPGP program do not really have any content which is asynchronous, other than what we call as the pre-term, which is basically meant to bridge those who are probably a little bit rusty on their quantitative skills to really be fully ready to really deal with the courses, quantitative courses. So we do really a pre-term course before you come into your program. We have a pre-term course on worksheet and Excel skills. We have another on accounting. So these are three pre-term courses which are asynchronous in nature, but they are not part of the credit. All the courses that we offer are live. 80% of the credit is actually taught through online mode, and 20% of the credit is actually taught through live classes on campus. The live classes on campus are scheduled roughly one meeting a term. A term refers to 1/3 of a year. So you have 3 terms in first year, 3 terms in second year. So roughly 6 weeks you will be on campus. But the exact length of that would be little more than a week, depending on what is preceding the term, the visit, and what is succeeding the visit. Roughly about 20+% of the credit is completed through the on-campus sessions. We also make a reasonably clear distinction between what is actually offered online and what is offered on campus. Our grounded view is that elements that would require a lot of participant interaction, like let's say something that involve a group decision making and solving, where your behavioral aspects are quite important, like you're negotiating across a certain deal, That's the kind of elements that are actually, focused more in the campus module. The online sessions focus on tools and frameworks that would not need as much participant to participant learning or require face-to-face interaction, but can be learned and through teaching by faculty, of course through a case mode predominantly, but still something that can be learned without necessarily knowing what is the facial expression of another participant in the classroom, right? So that is how we are actually organizing these sessions. And the synchronous mode sessions, which is online, are all direct to device, no studios involved. So the fact that we want to really give high touch to the IIMA campus and IIMA faculty, apart from the campus modules, the faculty really go to different cities throughout the term. We actually plan a minimum of 2 meetups with the students in different cities in each term. In fact, these are not necessarily a faculty-student interaction. It's actually a triad where faculty, student, and alumni come together to really, sort of reflect on their experience so far in the term and also connect with the industry and alumni, right? So this is the kind of touch points that we create so that, the students are actually fully part of the IIMA culture and inebriating that and, building on with that while being, away at their workplace, right? Okay, so the typical program week, as most of you would have actually noticed, we have the 2 weekdays, Thursday and Friday, and Saturday. Each day we have 2 sessions going from 6:30 to 7:45, and then from 8:15 to 9:30. So 6 sessions. Then we have Sunday 1 session, which is actually morning 10:20 to 11:35. And however we block your Sunday, the second session as well, it is meant for exams, it's meant for quizzes, it is meant for industry interactions, it is meant for any catch-up which you may have had on account of some slippage that happened one form or the other, right? So practically anyone who's enrolling this program need to be prepared for sacrificing 3 evenings and 1 morning. So Monday becomes your new weekend rather than Sunday. That's the kind of structure that we have. And now, of course, getting back to the admissions front, who should apply for BPGP and what are we really looking for in the candidate? In very abstract terms, what we are expecting the candidate to be are the following, right? You have an exemplary career. It is actually a career gradient which is higher than compared to peers that you of equivalent background. You have reasonably well-rounded accomplishments, slightly outside your career. You're not really someone who's just sort of one-trick pony, but you can really deal with other things as well. The idea here is to bring diversity in the classroom. Each participant sought to really contribute in terms of their uniqueness to the batch. That's what we are focused on as element 1. Element 2, which is more about the program, right? Of course, IIMA programs are known for their rigor and the demand that and the challenge that the faculty place on the candidates in terms of their, learning and the kind of, and everything involved a lot of reflection in the sessions, right? So one should be able to really deal with a demanding learning environment. That's the second criteria that we impose. Of course, how do we judge that? Of course, one can judge from conversations, one can judge from previous background, one can judge from career achievement, multiple ways. Of course, as I mentioned, the third element, which is embedded in the other 2 as well, is like, what is the unique profile the candidate is bringing onto to the classroom? That is important for us because we think that, a diverse cohort with unique experiences across industries and the roles that they are performing, the life experience that they have, the success and failures that they have had. If you have a repertoire of that as a library in the classroom, everyone benefits from that experience, right? So therefore, everyone plays a unique role. That is one criteria that we look for. Of course, with all this and the transformation that actually happens to the candidate through this program, we expect that these candidates would actually lead change, of their organizations in future, much like the other two programs which we are running. The all candidates emerging out of this program will be actually bona fide alumni of IIMA, as much as our PGP and PGPX cohorts are bona fide alumni of the institute's long duration programs, right? Okay, so now getting into further details, just to sort of remind what is the eligibility criteria and what are we looking for. We expect you to really have a minimum of 3 years of full-time work experience after graduation. It does not really necessarily mean that you have to be working right now, but you have to have 3 years of full-time work experience as on March 2025, right? 31st March. And you should hold a bachelor's degree with at least 50% marks in the aggregate or equivalent CGPA awarded by a recognized university, right? And you should have completed 24 years or above as on 31st March 2025, right? Okay. This is what the admission calendar right now. The admissions close on 25th March, and the IIT, if you are actually applying through the IIT, that is on 6th April. And we would do the interviews on April 19th and 20th and 26th and 27th. We will release the offers and wait list by mid-May, 13th May, right? Okay. The admissions process, of course, IIT is not the only intake that we do. You are eligible to come through GMAT, GRE, CAT, or IMA test. We are going to shortlist you based on your professional experience and achievements, which is largely what you have done so far in your life, the admission test course, and your personal interview. Personal interview becomes a key element of selection process. Some of you may be keen to know what is the kind of test that we do. It is similar to other management aptitude tests that are around. If you are interested, an IIT sample paper is actually available from this link, which is highlighted there. But broadly, it actually covers 3 postures: quantitative aptitude, analytical reasoning, and verbal aptitude, right? Okay, so I've taken you through a broad sense of why did we launch this program, and how does it really compare with the other programs at IIMA? What is the overall structure of the program? And what do we look forward to in a candidate who will be admitted in this program? And broadly, what is a high-level picture of the admissions process? Okay, let me take questions and concerns if you have, okay?
So some of the questions have already been addressed, like there were questions around what is the last date and all. So again, to repeat, it is 25th of March. And so that is the last date for, submitting your application. There were questions, Professor, on the GMAT, like in the GMAT Classic, do we consider only particular components, or do we consider the...
I think the office will be responding to that. And
Sure.
Already the GMAT question is responded to.
Okay.
Otherwise, you will actually get a quick reply here.
Sure.
Let me take a little more substantive questions. One of the queries is about, is BPGP course content similar to PGPX? Okay, so let me again go back to the comparison that I was drawing, that BPGP is more of a career accelerator compared to PGPX, which is actually where candidates come for career shifting. Does it really mean a significant difference in the curriculum? The answer is no. However, let me go back to the structure of the curriculum. The PGP course is actually, BPGP course is 36 credits, which is equivalent to 720 sessions or 900 hours of instruction. Compared to that, PGP has 42 credits. So 36 is for BPGP and 42 for PGP. Why is it that PGP is a 2-year program with higher number of credits? The answer is they are participants with relatively less seasoning in the industry and business, so they would take longer in or more inputs to really get familiarized with the demands and the decision making challenges and the dilemmas that business faces. So 36 credits, how does it really compare with PGPX? It is 4 or 5 credits more than PGPX. Our idea here is we have 2 years, whereas PGPX is a program which is run over 1 year. So therefore, we have more extended curriculum here. So that's how the two comparisons you could draw. The only difference being PGPX actually gets done in 11 months. We have 24 months total end to end. We have full 24 months in this program. So the curriculum is focused on applications at the forefront, and the concepts and theory at the background. That's what I would like to really highlight. So it is PGPX, but little more elaborate than that by way of the total credits that we cover. Okay. Then
there's a fresh question around the placement. So maybe you can take that.
So there is a lot of queries often we receive about the kind of career support that we actually provide to graduates of this program, and how does it really compare with the other programs, and how does it map? Is that very distinct? It is, because in PGP the candidates are actually relatively fresh. They want to really start their career. We provide them placement support on campus. PGPX, again, candidates actually leave their job and are full-time residential on campus. So we also extend placement support to those candidates. And much of the placement activity, as you would know, is being run by students of those programs. So now, given the working status of all the participants in this program, IIMA does not provide the same placement service as we provide for the other two programs, right? Because you're already working. Some of you may be, however, desirous of shifting your career. You may want to really sort of, look at how do I leverage the learning of this program to, improve the career outcome. Of course, that's a legitimate concern, and IIMA is conscious of that. The way we are actually achieving that, or helping the candidates achieve that, is that, okay, number one, primarily, we actually create significant awareness about this program within employers and convince them, and rather try and convince them on the kind of value add that we create in this program, which is no different from the other two. As an outcome, if you're already working in a firm, the fact that you've actually gone through this program, they should recognize that you've actually done this, and therefore now you can really be put on a faster path. The second is, those who are actually desirous on, okay, I don't want to necessarily grow up organically in my own firm, but want to really look for a career which is outside. The students and the batch is free to really, organize career activities as they would like. Us is being done by the other programs. But the reason why we have not really sort of, put this program as where we would actually have active placement is because everyone is working, and the employers of your employers are actually, committing significant resources and time to really carry you through the program, right? So therefore, if you look at it at a nutshell, is a placement being provided? The answer is no. But is career benefits available at the end of this program? One is really the organic recognition of your learning in your organization, and therefore the necessary career acceleration that you get. And those who want to shift, the students are free to organize activities that help improve their career outcomes. They can promote the batch and individual profiles on official program website and its social media pages. Already, as you would know, that the profile of the current batch is already put up there. So, and remember this, career placement at IIMA is mostly a student-led activity coordinated by the students, mostly led by them. Yeah. Okay. There is a question on international immersion. When we admitted the first batch, we had not necessarily designed in the program structure itself an international immersion for the reason that we thought most of the participants through their work already have exposure to multicultural setup and have traveled extensively, have a sense of how different work contexts vary, and therefore their ability to work in different teams are quite high and so on. But subsequently, we have felt that there is a need for international immersion in this program. We are working towards that for the current batch, which is in the first year itself. So therefore, what it is right now, international, I can only illustrate how does the immersion works for the other two programs. In PGP, students go on a one-term exchange with other universities, predominantly Europe, and some students from those universities actually be here, and therefore we call it an exchange program. PGPX being a shorter program, we cannot really afford to send them for a term. So they go on a 2-week immersion where they spend taking courses in different universities in, let's say, a couple of countries in Eurozone, and also get some exposure to industry and so on. So what is viable for this program, BPGP, given the fact that most of the students are working, we may not be able to extensively, spend time. Therefore, we are actually thinking of a 1 week to 10 days, maximum 2-week immersion. That is one where in which students will travel. The second that we are thinking is, which is still in the works, I can't promise that straight away, what is the structure, is that we are thinking of, having what we call a virtual immersion, in addition to the physical immersion where students will travel, where participants from a business school, reputed business school from abroad can really take some credits along with you, and therefore you are actually also exposed to participants from that institution. These are the two modes that we are working out right now.
So I think, Professor, there were some queries around what is there for the entrepreneurs in this, and some of them are looking at from the point of view of setting up their startups or accelerate the ventures which they have already started. So any specifics, any specific courses around that, anything relating to fundraising or those kind of things, and or the capital structuring and all of those things. So if you can take that, so maybe you can touch upon the electives and all of that, the choices of
right. So the entrepreneurial ecosystem at IIMA is very strong. You would know that some of the early entrepreneurs are actually IIMA graduates. We are one of the first to set up what we call as an incubation center, where startup ecosystem in India was in very nascent stages. And we built on that incubation system. Today we have a lot of, angel investors, super angels, then, VCs of various shades, growth investors, and the entire ecosystem is actually full of, players and reasonably saturated with capital, but so our incubation center really grew along with that. We run multiple funds. We have a very active startup ecosystem on campus. Given that background, these are the following. The following are the 3 things that entrepreneurs can really leverage out of this program. Number one, we offer a number of courses in the second year actually focused on startup venturing, which is focused on, entrepreneurship side of startups, financing and valuation, technology side. So a lot of courses which you can really, take as part, which actually quote unquote will bundle into what we call as a startup electives. That's one. Second is we have, as I had mentioned, that there is a very active startup ecosystem which we have on campus. We have what we call as IIMA Ventures, which had started as a startup incubator, but now expanded into funding startups and so on. So it is actually a strong network node where a lot of deal flow come in. New enterprises want to really sort of have IIMA Ventures invest a little bit of their money at the seed stage or pre-seed stage or later more than pre-seed stage, seed stage. So therefore, one get access to that network, not as being part of the program. The third is we offer something called Maverick Scholarship for graduates who actually do not want to pursue a corporate career, but want to really pursue entrepreneurship and want to really venture their own startup. We actually provide a substantial financial compensation for those graduates. The BPGP program will also have access to that. Both PGP and PGPX program have them with the opportunity to enroll in Mavericks. So these are the three ways in which entrepreneurs can probably accelerate their ventures being part of the BPGP program. Yeah. There is one question that, can we do internship instead of summer projects? So the internship where, candidates actually go and be part of an industry is more of a PGP, what we call as, the young groups program rather than the experienced MBA or what we call as post-experience program that IIMA runs. The reason being, one may not really want to, you're working somewhere and where would you do internship? Would you do internship in another organization? Which is why we thought, okay, here is your organization which want to really solve a problem and they recognize the talent that you have in solving it. So therefore, you can really do that as a live project. So internship is not part of the structure for the simple reason that we are targeting people who are already working. Now, of course, it is possible that, some of you may have many years of work experience. You are not working anymore, but being part of this program, then you may want to really do a problem take up a problem as part of the instead of the live project. But it's still live because you're dealing with an issue which you had been seized with from your work. Yeah.
So there were still questions around the placement, and now the specific queries regarding like a specific situation where a candidate has left his job or her job while pursuing this program. So I think Professor has already addressed that what kind of a support is available. So I think that will cover all the situation. That is the present status. And as he has also mentioned that it is primarily driven by the student council for other courses as well. So that is, we just into the first batch, which is still, just 6 months in, almost 6 months into this. So all those things are evolving, and you are part of that evolution. So I think there's nothing more to add here. And in terms of the comparison with the other programs offered by other institutes, I think the choice is always with the candidates. They can always do their research and then find out whatever is more suitable for them. We can,
I just want to really say that this is distinct in the sense that this is not a full-time program. What you could probably, it's different in terms of its objectives, but our sense is that, what is core to, if you go back to this figure that I had sort of shown you, what is core to this program is the learning approach, and the rigor of the program is not different. But if you are actually asking me, impliedly this question, okay, I just want to really, go through the placement process of the institution, then, if that's what you're necessarily looking at, maybe the full-time program is, closer to that kind of, I would say, implied guarantee.
in terms of the funding support, so as of now, we do not have any sponsorship for this or a scholarship under this program. And so, but what we provide is we have tie-up with some of the banks. Other details are given in the website. And some of those banks, and in fact, all of those banks offer some preferred rate of interest for our program. So you may definitely visit that and you will get more details. And if there are any further requirements on that, you can always reach out to our office. And let's see if there is anything specific here. So in terms of again, a specific query regarding the entrepreneurs. Is there any project which support them to get their business ideas validated and all that? I think, as Professor has already touched upon this, there are tremendous opportunities, networking opportunities where you get to meet all of those guys and you are free to discuss all of your situations and exchange your ideas. And definitely, I think IIMA, for that matter, is the best place to be. You are interacting with the same kind of network which the other programs are also exposed to. So in that sense, I think you definitely will gain from the IIMA's name and the network it has already established. So
Yeah, so someone is raising this question, how does this program, can BPGP students or 25, 27 batch start their own placement committee similar to PGP and PGPX? Is a question that someone is asking, so has pointed us that. As I said, placement is largely an activity as would be desired by the students. The institute does not really come into the way as to how you really want to leverage the career opportunities. My own sense interacting with the current batch very closely is at least the current batch of students do not really see placement as a major concern. They have a strong sense that if at all of a dozen of them or a dozen of the participants would require some career shift, it will all happen as and when required. Mind it, the placement process is a very short window, 5 days, 10 days, max 2 weeks kind of an affair in which you match jobs with people. And that is ideal when, so many candidates are actually just wanting to really shift their job. That's not true for this program because only a minority are actually very unhappy with what they are doing. But however, as someone is asking us pointedly, right, would the institute allow someone to pursue, career given the leveraging of a degree or being a graduate of IIMA? The answer is yes, you can do that. Yeah, it is up to the council to really decide how do they want to really deal with that. Yeah.
So we are what happened? Are we disconnected?
Yeah.
Reconnected? So there are still questions around the kind of the question, the IIT examination format. Is it similar to CAT? And also, I think the best way to judge that is just go through the website. There is a link provided. So the sample paper link is already there, and that will actually provide you the complete details regarding that.
So there is this question: can we opt for? It is about electives. Yeah. Can we opt for regular batch subjects as an elective? See, the challenge is this program we have actually launched contemporaneous or what we call a synchronous with the international calendar. As you would see that we are starting in September and going all the way till rounded back ending in August. So it is somewhat synchronous with that. So in that sense, batch to batch across the programs, there is no synchronization that is assured right now. But the program content, by nature, the elective courses including offered, except for customization to deal with the fact that, okay, these are students with significant seasoning in the industry. They are similar by way of, I would say raw content and the rigor of learning and learning outcomes that are targeted. Only thing is the format, the approach will be different given the fact that, you're actually, this is course which is meant for people with significant seasoning in industry. Yeah.
So regarding your queries around accommodation during the campus immersion, the accommodation is not provided within the fee charged. But whenever it is possible, we try to provide accommodation on campus at a nominal fee. And but that is also not promised. So it is basically it's based upon what we have at that point of time. And but otherwise, yes, it is like not included in the fee. And so there are, again, I would request Professor to address that. So there are specific queries around, is this course, like if I take this one, is it a perfect course for a middle management team leader in the central public sector companies? I have similar queries from people from different backgrounds. So I think we can touch upon the kind of cohort which we have in the first batch. And so maybe
so in the first batch, which we currently in progress, there are candidates from the public sector, from proper government, as well as from public sector organizations which are focused on business. My sense is that so far, they feel that it is something which is, significantly, value enhancing for them. So therefore, what is your objective? Why do we want to really join this program? If you are joining this program to really improve significantly in terms of your ability to deal with the different situations involving, business context which you are dealing with in government or as part of a public sector, it is going to really be very significantly value enhancing. Is it really focused on public policy? The answer is no. But do you have any exposure to public policy frameworks, general governance, polity, and society? The answer is yes. You have a number of elective courses which are in the second year, which is targeted on. But the program per se do not really look at necessarily just exclusively government sector. It is still a course or a program which is designed for management and business.
So I get a sense from the queries relating to the switching of jobs and all of that. So what the sense which I get, like from there's a specific query like, are we allowed to switch jobs during the program? Then I get a sense that we can actually once again clarify that the 3 years professional experience. So that I think you can clarify more on that.
Right. So let me sort of see the in our own experience, working with the first batch of students, the sense that we get is this program actually creates significant pressure on your time. And initially candidates would actually find it difficult to accommodate you have family, you have your work going, and then accommodate a third, demanding program. It is actually going to be challenging. Therefore, do you need the implied support and consent of the current employer to deal with the situation that would, by way of demand on time, at times you have to come to campus, you have to spend a week, and we don't necessarily provide, unless there is a very legitimate exigency that you had, we don't necessarily even provide access to the recordings. Because our idea is that, unless you learn through the experience, you would not, that learning actually would not be very enduring, right? So given the fact that it is, demanding in terms of time and effort and energy required, it would be reasonable to assume that you have actually the current consent and, time and resources extended by the current employer. In that sense, when you examine the question of switching your jobs, while it is not impossible, in fact, I think a couple of candidates have actually made a move and so on in their career. But it will actually create extra pressure points because we have to really necessarily, demand what we would demand usually from any other candidate. So therefore, in that sense, are you allowed to switch jobs? The answer is we don't really put any restriction on should you not or should you switch the job. We don't prevent anyone from switching. But if you were to really ask, there is an advisory, we would say that switching jobs is actually going to create another pressure point because you're allowed to deal with new set of colleagues and your boss and so on.
So this 3 years of work experience, that is a pre-requirement. So does it mean that if someone is not presently employed, but he has more than 3 years of experience, does he qualify? Or
I don't think we actually demand that one need to be currently working. That's not part of the program, but we are only insisting that you should have a minimum of 3 years of work experience. But having said that, most of the candidate, I don't think there is any candidate who's not really currently working. When we admitted that.
So I think degree related things has already been clarified. Is the degree provided during the convocation?
Yeah, so the degree will be awarded through a convocation. This is, as we said, it's a full-fledged MBA that IIMA is offering. And it is the same as any other degree that MBA degree that IIMA is offering, except that this is actually targeting a different segment where participants really want to continue to work. And therefore, this provides the balance between what we call as, career, family, and academic learning.
So there's a specific query that if someone has 19, 20 plus years of experience, so does the course really fit in for such experience age bands? I think the feedback from such, from the current cohort falling in the similar, metrics is that I think they're enjoying the program. So I think
that we have quite a few participants who are actually at the close to 20 plus years of experience in the current cohort. It might be a useful thing for you to probably get in touch with one of them to just see what their experience is. In case if you want to just get a reflection by.
So regarding the query on NOC, requirement of an NOC from the employer to attend the program, especially in context of a government or PSU employees, I think you have to check your employment terms. The program does not have any such requirement, but you can definitely verify your own employment terms if it is a requirement for you to inform or to take permission that you do. But from the program side, that is not a requirement, right?
Yeah, we don't necessarily insist on any NOC, but as I said, our experience had been with the first batch itself, that having comfort with the employer and being transparent about you doing this program, and therefore, being able to really leverage the time and unexpected demands on your time when campus module is in progress, or any other moment when exams are actually happening, that would be a significant lift in the program for you to complete it more effectively. Yeah.
So the weightage assigned to each component during the application of scores, interviews, work experience. So I think there are multiple queries around this.
Right. As I mentioned already that, okay, what is the criteria that we apply for, selection? I have already said what could be said. We're saying shortlisting is based on your professional experience and your achievements. The admission score is an input. Your personal interview matters a lot, as it would matter in most other management admissions in other schools, particularly for people who have already come with significant work experience. So I think that's what I can reveal right now on an open call.
So even for the entrance test to be conducted at the test centers, you can refer to the, when you're applying or when you're registering, you can always go through the test centers, the cities in which these test centers are available. And in case you still have any queries, you can always reach out to the office.
Any other query that, where anyone want to speak up? Yeah. You can raise your hand and.
Yeah, we can take that. Yeah.
So participants, those who want to raise a query, please raise your hand. We will actually reach out to you. Of course, there is one query whether the admission test is can be taken online. The answer is no. You'll have to go to the center and get verified on your ID. And of course, the test from there is on an online format. Yeah.
Yeah, hi, Professor. Just a small query.
Yes.
If needed be, or if we are comfortable to attend these classes on campus, is that allowed?
So the difficulty that we have, you're saying, okay, in the sense that, okay, if you're actually here in Ahmedabad, can you really attend the classes physically? No, the challenges, I don't know whether you would actually ever observed or someone taking a class which is live streamed to an audience. So the challenge is, let's say you are in the studio where we are actually, doing this class. The attention is focused on the bulk of the students who are on the screen. Therefore, will attending the class when you are actually when you are on campus for some reason, let's say you visit your, part of your business in Ahmedabad, and you want to walk into the campus, and let's say today evening there are 2 sessions scheduled. Shall I take it from there? We will advise you to not take in that format because it creates a lot of difficulty for the instructor to handle that. But will you be eligible to really take credit from other programs? We haven't yet worked it out because, as we said, international. We have actually set it for international calendar. Other programs are actually starting at different points in time right now. We haven't really reached that synchronization. And the start of this program into international calendar, my sense is that the management has chosen so because they want to really now go international and start programs which are synchronous with this calendar, maybe soon elsewhere outside India. So in that sense, when you are on campus, you are actually getting exactly the same as you would experience, much like any other program. Yeah. Does that, answer your query? I don't know, to the extent that I can identify.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I have a few questions. One question, you said it is a blended mode. It means online, I mean, mix up of online and offline. So can it possible person can, I mean, attend this program 100% in online mode?
No, that is not allowed because we think that since there are 3 things that goes on when you become fully online. We often say that, okay, our alumni actually carry the values of IIMA. And we think that, to really inculcate that value, one need to really have a personal bonding. And a lot of that actually happens through the chemistry when you're person to person. Of course, we do the meetups and we come and reach out to you as faculty and alumni. We do that. But I think, that 6 or 7 days experience, or, maybe even a little longer than that at occasions, that is a very strong bonding that actually leads to, one, learning effectiveness. Second is carrying the value of IIMA. The third, is beyond this because we have actually set elements of the program which are actually very strongly require what we call as a participant to participant learning, based on your interaction, your body language, your emotions, your everything else that is, part of the chemistry rather than physics, quote unquote. That is something which is, very strongly transpired when you are on campus. So therefore, unless there is a real exigency that you have on medical grounds, which is proven, which you didn't really have control over, we do not allow the program to be taken fully online.
So I think that is actually the blended character of the program is actually the strength of the program, and that I think as a participant, I think this is one thing which you can look forward to, and so that is something which you will actually enjoy. Any more? Yeah. Yeah, Dilip.
Hi, Professor. Good evening.
Yes.
Actually, I want to know. I'm a chartered accountant. I have pre-qualification experience of 3 years apart from articleship. After qualification 1 year, so that I can join the course.
So when you say pre-qualification experience, means you did your CA post-graduation or before or simultaneously? Like, I just want to understand, like, did you first obtain some graduation degree or you simply jumped into CA?
I simply jumped into CA. I don't have graduation.
Okay.
Actually,
no, so
I qualified CA final first group in May 2019.
Okay.
After that, I have 3 years of 2.5 years of experience. And after
Okay.
qualification, I have 1 year of experience.
So that is actually the articleship that you might have done, right?
No,
Which is part of.
apart from articleship, after 2019, I finished articleship in 2019. That time I qualified CA final on group.
So technically, it is actually post graduation, and the same I think is extended to even the professional courses like CAs, CS, and ICWA also. So
Yeah.
technically, my sense is that it has to be post qualification, which in your case is 1 year. If there is, so you can still write to our office and
We'll clarify
we'll
that.
clarify. But that is a sense which
The
we get.
eligibility criteria is 3 years of work experience after your graduation. If you have done actually CA along with your graduation, then you actually your experience you're saying is only 1 year, right? That may not be eligibility.
Yeah.
But we'll clarify that. On basic criteria, there is actually no.
Please write to us.
No exemptions allowed.
Please write
Actually,
to us.
I've written actually first batch also.
Okay.
So actually they asked experience, they replied for experience simply, they not done any analysis or I don't know.
Then it has already
No,
been
case
addressed.
to case analysis is not possible, Dilip. I mean, like the reason is, the eligibility criteria is the eligibility criteria, but however, you will respond.
Actually eligibility is I understood, but I actually once we qualified IPCC like CA intermediate, we call it as a accounting technician course that is equal to more than degree. Actually 3 years of degree is equal to 1 year of my CA qualification.
So I think we can take it as a feedback and also as an input. But as of now, the way the program is structured, the eligibility criteria that is structured, I'm sorry, we will not be able to consider. But still, you write to us, and we will check the fine prints of that, and we'll get back to you.
Yeah, I actually I want to say I've written already. I'm not received feedback actually. They told that they simply rejected actually.
In your query, and you're talking to a chartered accountant, so we'll get back to you.
Yeah, I've written actually IIT test also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Previous batch.
So Dilip will come back to you. We can switch to the next. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, Professor. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes, Asif.
Yeah, Professor, I'm sorry if my question seems a bit redundant. I know you're just projecting this, that the admission process where shortlisting is based on the 3 components that you've just mentioned. My question was a bit more specific, is that the interview that is going to happen next month, that itself is going to be basis some kind of a shortlisting. So would that entail these same 3 components like you are projecting in the screen right now?
So the interview is based. I mean, I can't, get too many details here, but
Understood. It's okay.
Yeah. There is a shortlisting that will happen before the interview.
Okay. Got it.
Anyone? So we are just trying to rush up our responses so that we can address more and more queries. I hope you will understand that.
Hello, Professor.
Yes, Harish, yeah.
So Professor, I had one doubt. So I just saw that the program for the week would be, will be having 2 days, which will be overlapping with our weekdays when we are working, which will be Thursdays and Friday. And I saw that the classes would be conducted between 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. But sometimes, as you must be knowing that the work hours do not get over by 6:30 sharp. And like I fear that on those days, if I enter late into the class or if I miss out, so how would we manage the work clashing with the class timings during the weekdays? I just wanted to know on that.
Yeah. So, okay. So let me, sort of set it up in the broader context of philosophy of IIMA. In general, we expect candidates to have full attendance in our courses, 6:30 to 9:30, barring the half an hour break that we have between 7:45 and 8:15, you should be actually there, right? However, we know that, okay, this is a program that we're launching for working professionals. There could be, unreasonable delays which are beyond your control. you wanted to reach and there's a traffic blockage, you're not really in hostile captive audience on campus, right? Where we can demand that you should be here at 8:45. So therefore, we actually provide, on legitimate grounds, up to what we call as 20% cases you can really take either due to medical reasons or professional reasons. You can really mark a leave of absence with permission, right? You should actually be able to, write to us saying that, okay, oh, here is a unexpected, hearing in the court involving, some business issue that we had faced and I had been part of it. I can only represent the company. No, I want to be away. If you're delayed by 5 minutes, 10 minutes on a single day, not every day, then that actually we deal with, lot more informally than formally, but we expect it to be there. I think the current batch of students are able to manage. That's a confidence with which I can speak. So in fact, when we sort of, set out on this journey, we're too anxious, there will be too many late comings. There are so many issues which we'll have to handle on a day-to-day basis. And luckily it is not there. Maybe, you can really reach out to any one of them. I don't know what is the secret sauce that is at work, but it's working. So I think, you can really take that as a, out of confidence and say that it'll work out. It is about, getting. So candidates have told me at the end of almost, 5 months of journey into the program that they have become more disciplined. They have become more productive. Probably the program demands another 3 hours. So they are able to really find there is a discovery that they have done in their life, which is called the 8th wonder of their life, that I have 2 more extra hours to spare, every day. I think that's what is going to work.
I guess we would have to start our work a bit early to adjust to the classes, I guess then.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Rarely some of them may not take while they are driving and so on, but that is more of a rarity than no. Yeah. In fact, what I believe is that we can really go and, check with the students as well currently. They actually even have pre-class meetings, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, the study groups meet. So they are actually starting not at 6:15. They are actually starting, sorry, not at 6:30, but at 6:15, right? Because they actually sort of, prep for the class. And yeah. So I think they are able to manage it very well. So I think I have the confidence that if you happen to be admitted and if you are joining, then, you may.
And I also know, Professor, many of the students, the participants, they also tell us that, they prefer to sometimes extend their office hours and find a quiet corner from where they can actually take those classes rather than commute, because it's also very, very important for you to focus on. And that is what, see, when you are putting so much of effort, then you might as well gain the maximum out of the program. And that is the idea. And I think the program and your own cohort will push you to, test your limits. And that's what our experience so far has been. Thank you. We can switch to the next. Yeah.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes,
yes. Yeah.
Hi, firstly, thank you for this very detailed session about the admissions. It clearly addressed a lot of my queries. I have one question in particular. I have actually graduated from UK, and after that, I worked for 2 years at JP Morgan back in UK in the London branch. And I am back in Mumbai, and for the past 5 months, I've been working in my family-owned business. So as the eligibility says that you need minimum of 3 years of work experience. So as of 31st March, I'll be only having 2 years and 5 months. So
yeah, I'm sorry, you will have to apply in the next cohort, not this time. So
okay.
yeah, so you do not fulfill the requirement 3 years work experience, that you'll have to wait.
Okay, cool. No worries. Thank you.
Thanks, Meghna. Thank you. Yeah.
Murali, please. Yeah.
Yes, Murli, please.
He's not responding.
Yeah. So maybe, okay, Murli is not responding, so switch over to the next, please. Yeah, Pradeep. Pradeep, you're not audible. Pradeep, can you please check? You're not audible here. Okay, so let's take the other one.
Pradeep, you can come back. Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
just take the other question.
Yeah, Varun, Varun, you can, Varun? Oh, no, Varun is also not responding.
Hello.
Who?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Varun.
Yeah, good evening, Professor. I'm audible now?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, thank you for your time, Professor, and a lot of my query has been resolved. So right now I'm willing to pursue this program. So right now when I'm looking to that IIT papers that has been uploaded on the site, so it's just a snapshot of the paper. So can we know about the overall topics or something like that that will covered in the quant or verbal or something like so that I can prepare well for that?
I think, this is the amount of detailing that we can give. For a variety of technical reasons, we'll not be able to disclose anything beyond, but, it gives you a sense of the landscape that will be covered. I'm sorry, beyond
The
that.
problem is that, no, Professor, I have 11 year of experience and I'm a CA, but right now I'm very much out of touch that from the basic maths or something like that. So I'm
You can
confused.
imagine.
I have to look after the total geometry or everything. So that is a problem.
Why don't so the way you can think about is, I'm of course I don't want to talk about the IIT, but I'm saying in general, if you look at GMAT or CAT, it is actually asking school level math, right? In general.
Okay.
So nothing in math. Yeah. So you can just imagine that that's the way typically these tests are. Yeah. Of course, we expect and consciously so, and and truly it should be, because you're not really creating this test for people who are just out of their CA and competing competing on academic terms and nothing else in life, but rather we are doing this test to really check the aptitude of those who worked for a significant number of years, right? You can keep that in mind. Yeah.
Definitely, Professor, I will prepare well and appear for this exam.
Thank you, Varun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes, you are. Okay.
Good afternoon, sir. Good evening, sir. I a few questions I want to ask. Like, is this accredited by UGC, AMB, or EQUIS, or something like that?
Yeah, so the way you can think about us, we are not really part of the UGC system. However, the IIMs are chartered by the Parliament through what we call as the IIM Act to really be independent degree granting institutions. So our degree is accepted by other bodies because we are now recognized by the Act of the Parliament to be degree granting institutions. If you really look earlier times, I think this act was passed in
2017.
2017. Prior to that, we were awarding diplomas. Then always there were questions. Oh, are you an MBA? No, you are not an MBA. You have a PGP. All those questions have gone away. So PGP, PGPX, and BPGP are actually MBA granting degrees. So it's actually eligible for masters, or it's a master's. You want to really sort of do PhD. You want to do anything else, it's actually a school. Of course, that equivalence comes automatically.
And sir, like I've written many emails to this inquiry dash BPGP, why I never receive any answer reply from this.
On this query?
Like for many queries, like they also like for GMAT, for GRE integrated reasoning is also considered, only VA or NQA is considered.
We'll check why you didn't get a reply.
But is there anything which you can like, if there is anything which is unresolved, please let us know. If we will take it right away.
So okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. No, AK first.
Yeah. Rohit.
Good evening, sir. My name is Rohit Talwar. little strange now, but it was like 30 years since I attended the IIM Ahmedabad MEP course. You remember that Biomed Admission Program course, long time back,
Yeah.
91, 92. Okay, at that time I was 26 years old during that time, and I attended this course there. There was a management course in IIM Ahmedabad course for 1.5 months, and they taught us
Voice.
everything about
Sorry, Rohit, your voice is coming a little garbled, so therefore I was not able to listen.
Okay. See, I had attended a management education program course from IIM Ahmedabad in 91, 92. Okay. It was
Yes.
a 4.5 month program. Okay. The residential program there. Now, it was in the entire general management, all types of finance management, production management, and operation management, and DSS decisions systems, and of course everything has changed now. A lot of now the data analysis has come into picture, and so many things have changed, and also HR management, all types of management, marketing management, everything was there in short 4.5 months course. It was there. Now, after 30 years, this course has started BPGP course. Okay. Is it worth doing this course again like that? Is different from that one. That was only again, they didn't apply any jobs, but like here, now many things new have come up. Is it worth doing this course or not? BPGP, is it different from that, or will be
is there any age limit?
Yeah, there is no age limit that we have, because we believe that, what matters is not how old you are, how are you old is what matters, That's one. Second is, it's very different. It is not an executive education program that we are running here. It's a degree granting program. So in that sense, the extent of depth and conceptual clarity, the detailing that we do are very different. And, you didn't really have any electives and so on, which will allow you to do deep down, let's say finance, marketing, whatever, right? So it is very distinct from MEP. But as I said, we are actually desirous of creating a batch which is focused on those who want to really build their career upwards in future. If you think that's a desire that you have, you might as well fit. But we don't really put any physical age bar ourselves here. Yeah. We'll take one more query. Yeah.
Hi, sir. Good evening.
Yes, Atul. Yeah.
Sir, actually, I am a second generation entrepreneur. We have a family led business. So I'm really keen to looking onto this program. And one thing is that I graduated in 2022, but I had few backlogs. So my degree is issued by January 2023. So will the working experience be counted after this January 2023, or when my
Do you have another degree prior to that? Or this
No,
is your
sir.
first?
No, that was my first degree. I graduated as an engineer.
No, so the degree sometimes can be granted later, but when was the examination conducted? And there should be some, if there is some evidence regarding that, that can be considered.
Okay. I have that. I have that. The program commencing date and all. I have that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I think
because
that
we are not really, because different universities have different time lag between when they complete the program and when they award the degree. That we take into account.
Sure.
Okay. That is a relief. Thank you.
You should have 3 years of experience or something that way.
Okay. Right.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
So I think we are already
20 minutes.
20 minutes past the time schedule. So if you still have any queries which are yet unresolved, we have tried to take the maximum number of queries. If there is anything where we can help you with, please reach out to us and we will be promptly responding to it.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to the closing date on March 25th.
Thank you.
Thank you.